October 7 is the worst day in Jewish history since the Holocaust. But at the same time of this darkness, an incredible energy has emerged. I'm happy to let you all know that the Central Bank of Israel recently estimated that the GDP growth this year will be 2.3%, and in 2024, 2.4%. It is my pleasure to call upon Ambassador Mark Sofer, who is one of Israel's most distinguished and respected diplomats.
Suffice it to say that there are still 10 young women held in Hamas captivity, and here I certainly won't elaborate at all. Much, much more needs to be done. Red Cross access, media publicity, political statements on the tragedy to keep the issue alive and at the forefront. The suffering of the hostages is indescribable, and their release is urgent beyond comprehension. They need you.
October 7 not only revealed the poison that motivates Hamas and its supporters, but also how hypocritical, respected, well-funded international organizations that are not well-intentioned, who act with a disappointing double standard. I'm referring to the various women-related advocacy groups that don't have the decency to denounce one of the world's largest gender-based acts of violence, including gang rapes and awful sex attacks. And then there is Miss Eger, president of the Red Cross, who makes next to no effort in visiting the hostages held in Gaza. She and the Red Cross are an absolute disgrace. One of the things that has kept Israelis sane is that we don't need to rely on Al Jazeera and the Hollywood scenes they consistently portray. We are very fortunate today to have Ehud Ya'ari with us.
The military system of Hamas is to fight from within densely populated areas with command posts, storage, bunkers, whatever you can think of, inside hospitals, inside schools, places like this. Every single hospital of the 24 that were operating in the Gaza Strip is a Hamas command post, is where they hide rocket launchers, etc. 2 days ago, and it's been going on for quite a long time, the Jordanian army fought for a whole day gangs of smugglers coming from Syria. The elite unit of Hezbollah, the Radwan force, which over past years was allowed by Israel to basically position itself on the border. Mr. Putin has quietly made it clear to the Iranians that he wants Syria and his protege, Mr. Assad, out of it. The Houthis, who are not proxies of Iran, I would rather define them as junior partners. 12%, 1/8 of world trade goes through the Red Sea. 9 million barrels a day of oil. Egypt is affected more than anybody else by this blockade. I'm telling you, piles of information misread by 3 peacock generals. And let's find Moshe, maybe he knows where the key is. Those kibbutzim like Be'eri, Kfar Aza, Nahal Oz, Nir Oz. So horrible massacres. We cannot rely in any way on what is reported by Palestinian sources or their proxies like UNRWA, which is destroy Hamas. We cannot tolerate Hamas as a neighbor. The whole system of Hamas is to fight from within the houses. We had many cases where you go to a children's room in a family house or apartment, and under the bed and inside the mattress, they find the weapons. They found the weapons inside teddy bears. UNRWA is controlled by Hamas. Hamas is Muslim Brotherhood. Hamas grew up as the Gaza branch of the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood. They are like a player in the casino who goes in and puts his money on every single number, color on the roulette table. There is a wild exaggeration of the importance of Qatar. Altogether, there seems to be about 500 kilometers of tunnels. I don't think Sinwar is the kind of man, I know him. I've sat with him 4 times when he was 22 years. During the 22 years he was in our prisons. Hamas has been supporting for years, not lately, but for years, supporting ISIS, Daesh in Sinai, which killed hundreds of Egyptian soldiers. We will see a new force coming out of the protest and out of the huge volunteer system that emerged once the war broke out. They don't want to see the IMEC, the India-Middle East corridor. I have no doubt the Saudis will resume. All of a sudden, Malaysia popped out. And the Malaysians, the government of Anwar Ibrahim, the Malaysians started feeling our pulse. Same as Indonesia. Indonesia, I think a lot depends on who gets elected next year.
I'm really excited to ask Peter Cooper from Cooper Investments, who actually came on a mission in May this year to Israel.
I really want to thank you for that directness. It's a bit of an Israeli trait, but you have it on steroids. I just want you to know, along with everyone in Israel at the IACC and all Israelis, that there are hundreds of thousands of Australians, and I know there are non-Australians on this call, who would agree with me, really stand by you and for you. The pain and the commitment that Israelis are bearing is just extraordinary. The forces that will come out of this inside of Israel, you know, hopefully are great new things for your country. Thank you, Paul, and your team, and Naomi, and everyone. You guys are just incredible. I've done 2 trips to Israel, and it's certainly not the last.
Thanks for that beautiful vote of thanks, Ehud. Thank you. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to Naomi from my team. All the best, everyone. We'll be in touch.